Hi everybody! So we're back today to talk a little bit more about perimeter. So yesterday we kind of did an introduction to perimeter and we actually used our rulers, we measured real life things like my phone and an index card, and then we added up the sides. So today we're going to practice that a little bit more, but we're also going to look at a couple other ways to think about perimeter. So first, let's kind of review a way that we did it yesterday, okay? Let's remember that perimeter is the distance around the outside of a shape. So think of perimeter like a fence around a yard, okay? It's just the outside. So let's look at example 1. Make sure that you have your workbook and that you're on page 759. If you're not, pause the video, go grab it, and then come back. Okay, so example number 1 says, Warren and his dad will build a fence in the backyard for his new puppy. Find the perimeter of the backyard. Now, yesterday when we found the perimeter, we actually had to measure and use our ruler to figure out how long each side is. Sometimes they'll just give you the measurements. So that's kind of what's going on here. This is their backyard. It's 12 meters by 9 meters, okay? So to figure out what the perimeter of that is, we need to add all 4 of those. 9 plus 12 plus 9 plus 12, okay? Now it's not always easy to add 4 numbers, especially when they write it side to side like that. So a lot of times what I do is I add 2 sides, because they're usually doubles facts, and then I add those 2 numbers. So what's 9 plus 9? Right, 18. Okay, what's 12 plus 12? 24. Okay, so I rewrote it over here so that it's a little bit easier for us to think about. So what's 8 plus 4? 12. Put my 1 into the tens column. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's our answer? Right, 42. 9 plus 12 plus 9 plus 12 is 42. And that means the perimeter of Warren's backyard is 42 meters, okay? So that's really similar to what we did yesterday. It's just they gave us the measurements instead of us having to use a ruler, okay? So now let's look at a different kind of perimeter. A lot of times you're going to see shapes like this, okay? We call those tiled shapes. So when you want to find the perimeter of a tiled shape, it's a little bit different than this because instead of having a measurement like 4 inches or 7 inches or 3 centimeters, you count the blocks or the squares, okay? So let's look at this side. How many squares are on this side? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I like to put a little dash mark on each one of those lines so that it's easy to see, hey, I already counted this. So this side of our shape is 4 square units. It's got 4 squares. Now let's count how many squares are along the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the bottom is 5 square units. Now here's a question. Would I need to count this side? Nope, I would not have to because opposite sides on squares and rectangles are the same length, okay? So if this side is 4 squares, then I know this side is also 4 square units. What about this top part? If I know the bottom is 5 square units, do I need to count the top? Nope, what will it be? Right, still 5 square units, okay? So then to figure out the perimeter of this rectangle, I add 5 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4. So again, it's hard to count 4 numbers, especially when they're written that way. So let's add our 2 sides. What's 5 plus 5? 10. What's 4 plus 4? 8. 10 plus 8 is 18. So 4 plus 5 plus 4 plus 5 is 18. And that means that our perimeter is 18 units. Okay? So there's kind of two different ways to count perimeter. The first is you either measure or they give you measurements and you add up the four sides. Or if you have a tiled shape, you count how many squares are on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now something that I really want you to think about and pay attention to. Some of your squares, when you're counting perimeter in this way, will be counted twice. So think about this little corner square right here, this little guy. He's counted for this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, but then I'm gonna count it again because it's also a square on my bottom side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? So don't be afraid to count it twice because see, it's on this side and it's on that side, okay? So don't skip it just because it's in the same spot. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and turn your page and try one more example. Okay, so key concept. What that means is this is a really important thing in this chapter. It's probably like equally one of the two most important things. We really want you to understand what perimeter is, okay? So the perimeter of the figure is the distance around a figure or the sum of its side lengths. That's kind of like a lot of words to just say how long is the outside of the shape, okay? So right here we have a rectangle. It's 3, 4, 3, and 4. And if I added those up, 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4 equals 14. So the perimeter of that rectangle is 14 centimeters, okay? All right, now let's take a, my board was going crazy. Let's take a look at example number 3. The perimeter of the figure is 33 feet. They started this problem by telling me the perimeter instead of me having to figure it out. Find the unknown side length and write an equation. Okay, so now we're kind of working backwards. We now know the perimeter. We have to figure out a missing side. So, I know that the perimeter is 33. So I'm going to put it right there just so I don't forget. But when we need to find the unknown, we have to first figure out how long is the rest of the shape. So I have a 9, a 6, an 8, and then here's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know how long that side is. So the first thing we need to do is add 8 plus 6 plus 6 plus 9, okay? And if we add those numbers together, that gives me 33. Or I'm sorry, if we added those together with our missing side, it would give us 33. So what we need to do is add those numbers without our missing side. Okay, so let's add 8 plus 6 plus 6 plus 9. Okay, and if we added those numbers together, it would give us 29. Okay, so this side plus this side plus this side plus this side equals 29. Well, if all those sides equal 29, and I know that the perimeter is 33, what can I do with those two numbers to figure out how long that side is? Right, I can subtract them. So 33 minus 29 is 4. There we go. So we now know that this missing side is 4 feet, okay? Because 29 plus 4 equals 33, okay? So to recap, they told me the perimeter. It's 33. I needed to figure out how long is this missing side. To do that, I added up the sides that I knew, subtracted it from my perimeter, and ta-da, that's the length of our missing side. Okay, If that seemed a little confusing to you, it's okay. You're gonna do some in your practice and we'll go over it in that video. And then we're also gonna continue to work on these skills, so you're gonna be great at it. All right, have fun with your practice.